What's up, guys? Joe Dillon again here. In this video of the real estate wholesaling series, we're going to be discussing what to do when you can't sell a property that you have under contract. Hope you enjoy, guys. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? Joe Dillon again here. I'm a real estate investment coach. I work with wholesalers and investors that are doing anywhere from 0 to 3 deals a month. They want to scale to 5 to 10 deals a month, and I help them explode to 7 figures. Guys, if this is your first time watching me, or you don't know who I am, I built a multi-million-dollar real estate investment firm, and now I want to teach. I'm passionate about teaching others how to do the same. So I'm going to be giving you guys a bunch of free content on how to scale your business, okay? Would love for you to check me out, join the coaching program if you're interested. If not, totally fine. Just enjoy the free content, okay? So guys, today we're gonna be talking about what to do when you can't sell a property that you have under contract, okay? So I get this question all the time, right? You're excited, you got a property under contract, but you can't sell it, all right? So before we talk about what to do, we're gonna talk about how to prevent that from happening. All right, guys? Now, realistically speaking, even at our scale, right, where we were doing 20, 30 properties a month, right, and beyond that, you're going to have obviously those, 1 or 2 or 3 that you still might not be able to sell. That's the nature of the business. But how do you maximize your opportunities to sell the property for as high and as fast as possible? That's what we're going to be talking about real quick. How to prevent this from happening, okay? So how do you prevent it from happening? All right, so I've broken out steps that you can take based on the department that we're talking about, okay? So basically, we have acquisitions. Your acquisitions department is responsible for converting your leads to contracts. Simple as that. As soon as someone calls in, say, hey, I'm interested in selling my house, boom, they do lead management, they do property analysis, they negotiate with the sellers, and they get the deals on the contract. Okay, that's the acquisitions department. What can you do? Make sure that you have good comp analysis. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, so making sure that you're comping out your properties correctly, right? So one of the ways that we comp our properties to almost always generate a surefire way to sell the property is to see what other investors are buying for in that immediate neighborhood, in that area, okay? So, and I've talked about this deeply in my coaching. I'll just give you a broad overview, but essentially what you wanna do is see all the investment properties in the area, what they're selling for, okay? So even if they bought it off market, the way that you can know how much they bought it for off market is simply by going into the tax record. So let's say you have a renovated property that just sold, beautiful home, they just renovated, an investor just finished it, now it's sold to a homeowner. You want to go into that tax record and you want to see what they bought that property for, okay? And that's what you're going to use in order to determine what you can sell the property for. Now, sometimes, just like anything, very few times it doesn't work. Or not necessarily it doesn't work, but it might be off a little bit. But in the majority case scenario, what we found is that it's working and works incredibly, and it works a lot of the time. So secondly is your scripting with sellers, okay? So this is essentially like how well can you communicate with the sellers? How well do you manage and direct the conversation, right? How confident do they feel in your ability to buy the home? How structured do you have your process and your script, right? To where either if it's you on the phones or if your sales team is on the phone, how well do you have it structured out and processed with rebuttals, with all that stuff, so that you're maximizing that. Okay, and then the reason I separated negotiation and scripting is because it's kind of 2 different things, right? The scripting is the general tonality of the conversation, how they feel about you, how if they like you, if they trust you, because people do business with people that they know, they like and they trust. Okay, now negotiations. Now, what I want you guys to really, really hammer down is how to negotiate well. Okay, one of the easiest and best ways to do this is simply by having a second man in line, right? So, you can revert back to your manager or partner, right? I would love to use that all the time in closing and negotiating on properties as low as possible, okay? Now, there are several other different techniques that I go over with all my clients, but make sure you have a good negotiation with your sellers, okay? You're not leaving money on the table, okay? So a couple that I'll just give you guys is you can do a random number close. So if you're close, maybe you're like 5 or 10,000 apart, you can give them an exact number. Now, I don't like to use to the penny because I think that's a little overkill. But for example, you can tell the seller, hey, Mr. Seller, after our real due diligence, we can give you about $86,400 for this property. Now, what do they think when they hear that? They obviously think that, wow, this person has really calculated it down to a T, and they're not going to feel prone to negotiate. They're gonna be less prone to negotiate. Now, it's still gonna happen, but they're gonna be less prone to negotiate. All right, that's just one of the tactics that you can use, and there's several others that you can use as well. And on the disposition side, so once you get it under contract, right? Because it's possible you can't sell the property, but you have a good deal to sell. It's possible. All right. So what I mean by that, so basically you need to make sure that you have a good cash buyers list, right? A good, solid cash buyers, active cash buyers that are buying in your neighborhood or in your area. They're active, they're good, they buy high, right? I give basically all my clients the way to maximize their cash buyers list. So what you can do is you can go on the MLS, right? Get all of the investors. So the way that you do it, you can do cash properties, right? You can filter out all the properties that were sold for cash, right? Train a VA to go through every single one of them, make sure it's an investment property. Look for the LLC, skip trace the LLC, skip trace the person who owns the LLC. Train them to do that process. You're gonna have a lot of cash buyers. In addition, you can get a lot of realtors this way too, okay? And what I like to do is send them a text blast immediately, right? And because it's immediate, it's gonna take you a lot longer to get all those people on the phones, right? So make sure you have a good cash buyers list, all right? Second, pricing strategies. So make sure, well, this is what we did. Feel free to use this, but essentially, we had two prices. We have a regular price and a buy it now price. And the reason that we had that is because, let's say we actually accidentally priced the property too low, then basically what we do is if we only had one price, right, then we're gonna lose out on that. So essentially, this is the price I think I can sell it at. I put my regular price right underneath what I think that I can sell it for. And then I put my buy it now price, a little bit pushing the envelope, right? And I like to give that about a $5,000 to $7,000 spread. Okay, so that helps tremendously. And then scripting with buyers. Okay, so making sure that again, either you or your dispositions team has a good solid script, and they also have good rebuttals, and they know how to sell properties, know what kind of things to say. Don't let buyers beat you down when it comes to properties. And again, you can always relay it to a manager or a partner, okay? So this is how you prevent it. And we can go, I'm actually gonna dive into each one of these in separate videos and go deeper into it. So what do you do now that you can't sell the property? Let's say you've done all this, right? And you still can't sell the property. So one, this is the most obvious one, you want to reblast it at a lower price. So let's say you have a $15,000, $20,000 spread, right? You want to reblast that at a $10,000 spread. Make sure that you're putting in the captions, hey, asterisk, reduced price, right? And then you reblast it maybe at a $5,000 to $10,000 spread, right? Making $10,000 or $5,000 is better than making no $1,000, right? And then you want to make sure that you schedule a second showing with the homeowner. Now, if you're getting help, basically like the second thing that you can do is you get help from realtors and wholesalers, okay, that are in your area. You offer them maybe a flat fee. I like offering flat fees because it's a lot harder to get a deal under contract than it is to sell it, right? That's the majority of the legwork, right? So you want to make sure that you're making sure that you shelter yourself on that too. So I like to give realtors and wholesalers maybe $1,000 to $2,000 finder's fee, depending on how the deal is, right? So one way you can do that, you can immediately text blast all the realtors in that area. If you haven't done that process yet, immediately do that, or send them an RVM, right? One of my clients just did that, boom, sold the deal. That's first, one of his first deals. So, and third, if none of that is working, right, and you reblast at a lower price, you get help from realtors and wholesalers, you're still not selling the property, make sure you get the dirt on the property from your buyers, okay? So essentially talk to some of your best buyers. Hey, why does this property not work for you? Understand the reasons for why the property doesn't work for them. And then what you can do is use those reasons to go back and renegotiate, right? And the reason I circled it in green is because this is money, right? You can add $100,000 to $200,000 to the bottom line of your business simply by having a good, solid renegotiation process. All right. Boom. All right. So, guys, make sure that you have a good renegotiation process. You have a good script. Okay. I have a script, phenomenal script that I've given to all my clients. That you're making sure that you're setting the proper expectations with the homeowner before all this happens. So when it comes down time to renegotiate, it's not a bait and switch and it's not too late. So making sure that your transactions coordinator, as soon as you get a property under contract and it goes from acquisitions to dispositions, you want to make sure that your transactions coordinator, or if that's yourself right now, that's okay. Make sure that that person is communicating those expectations clearly. So worst case scenario, if you need to do this, then they're not surprised, shocked, and angry, okay? Now, if they're surprised, shocked, and angry, then there's also certain scripting that you can say to immediately accept that, the responsibility, take that fall, accept the responsibility, all that stuff, okay? So, guys, if you can't sell a property that you have under contract, make sure you're following all these steps to prevent it. And if that's still happening, then make sure you have this process out so that you are maximizing your dollars on every single property that you have. All right, guys, hope this video was helpful. Guys, give me a subscribe. I have a YouTube channel now. If you're on here, make sure you click the subscribe button. And guys, I'm more than happy to keep giving you value and content. If you're interested in coaching, let me know. I've been exploding my clients' businesses, doubling, tripling, and even quadrupling their businesses. Right now, I just work with experienced investors that are really looking to scale. And so hit me up, guys, if you want the structure, the processes, the strategies, right? And the coaching and the guidance to get you to your goals this year. Let's make 2019 your freaking year, guys. Coach Dillon signing off. I'll see y'all later.